Hey, welcome to day 14. You're absolutely killing this challenge. This is amazing. We're moving right along, and today you're gonna create a high converting registration page. Your registration page for your webinar is critical. It's vital to make sure that people clearly understand the value that you're gonna be offering on the webinar. It's where they're gonna make the decision if, hey, this is worth my time and worth me giving you access to my inbox by giving my email address. So we're going to jump into Webinar Ninja and we're going to create a high converting webinar registration page. Luckily, Webinar Ninja comes with built-in registration page templates. So we've actually done a lot of the work for you in advance with making sure that all the important stuff is on the template. We're just going to customize it to make sure it reflects your brand and the actual webinar you're going to be offering to your audience. So we're going to jump into Webinar Ninja. I'm going to walk you through step-by-step how to do this. I'm going to give you some tips on how to craft the best high-converting registration page possible for your webinar. And then you're going to do the same. This is going to be your homework. You're going to create your registration page for homework. You got to make sure it's done today so that when you move on tomorrow, it's done and you can move on to the next step, which we'll be talking about the thank you page. But today we're going to focus on just the registration page for your webinar. All right, let's jump into Webinar Ninja and get started. All right, we're inside of Webinar Ninja. Let's go ahead and find the automated webinar that we created. We're going to go to My Webinars on the left right here. Okay, and then we see it listed here. This is my webinar, and we want to edit the registration page so we can get working. So let's roll up our sleeves. We're going to go to Options. We're going to scroll down. We have Registration Page Template. We're going to click on that, and we're going to go into what we call the Page Builder. Inside of Webinar Ninja, we have a great an easy way for you to create registration, thank you pages. You can customize every single thing. We have templates for you. So let's walk right through it. So right here is our minimal template, okay? This is a template that is very minimal, as the name suggests. And it's great if you just want to run a quick webinar, if you want to be able to set up a webinar for your private community. You don't really need to sell it too much. You just need an easy landing page for them to register, okay? But I recommend for your automated webinar to create an actual full-fledged template, full-fledged registration page with more information. So if I go to templates up here, it's going to load all the templates that we have for Webinar Ninja. And right here, I have a few options here for the types of templates I can create. And these templates are just layouts, and I can customize every single thing. You're going to see how we're going to make it our own. You'll also know there's another tab here to the right that says My Saved Templates. I'll explain what that is in a moment, but basically the long story short is that this is going to allow you to be able to save all the templates that you create for your webinars as your own templates, and you can just load it whenever you like. That way you don't have to recreate them every single time. All right, let's choose a template. I like the detailed template for automated webinars. Let's go right in. Let's choose it, select. And this is the detailed template, okay? And I'm just going to scroll through it first so you can see all the sections. So we have like a header here with all the information. We have some bullet points here. We have an about area for our host. We also have, right here we have the call to action and make sure that they know the dates and times that are available, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so anytime, just give some navigation instruction. Anytime I want to preview my template, I can just hit preview. It's going to open in a new tab, and it's going to show me what my changes look like before I hit save. It's a great way to do it. But we have this great live editor. Anytime I hover over any part, I can edit anything, okay? You notice here that we have a tag that says webinar title. You might be saying, well, what does that mean? Well, it allows us to populate whatever webinar title that you have for your webinar. So that way you can clone this, you can edit this, you can save this template, and no matter what your title for your webinar is, it's going to populate it with the right title. Just to show you what I mean, if I hit preview right here, I'm going to preview the new tab, it's going to populate it with the right title, okay, with no worries. All right, let's go back to the editor. Okay, so let's personalize this. So first of all, we could change this background image if you like. So this is a basketball coaching webinar. So I've uploaded my own image. You can upload your own images here, and I added it to my personal gallery. So Webinar Ninja has its own gallery of images that you can choose from. We have a selection of royalty-free images that you could choose from depending on the topic of your webinar, but you can also add your own images if you'd like. We really recommend unsplash.com is a great resource for you to find free royalty-free images. Here's an image that I have that's basketball related. I'm going to click it. I'm going to hit save. And boom, it's going to load the page with that image right there. Okay, so I don't have to worry about anything. Now I have it, it's there, and it's that simple. It's still simple here with Webinar Ninja. So I just click on the logo here, for example, the company logo, I can also change that. So let's say, for example, I want to put my company logo. I've already uploaded my logo, so I can pop it here. I have a light version here. You really can't see it because it's light, but I'm going to pop it. It's going to show you right there. Boom. Anytime I want to change the title, any of this text, I could do that, and there's a text editor. You can play around with that when you do your homework, where you could change the font size and the font type and all that kind of stuff, bold, italics. You can even hyperlink if you'd like, and of course you can add those tags I mentioned. So say, for example, you want to add a tag like the webinar type or the host name, you can just click it and it will populate that if I want to. All right, let's talk about the conversion aspect of the registration page. Now, we've really worked really hard on making sure it's a high converting page. So we've actually done all the work for you. We've tested and made sure that this actually converts well. Now, there's a method to why we made the layout the way it is on our registration page. We wanted to make sure that all the important information for your webinar is before the fold. Or above the fold, they call it. So above the fold comes from a term back in the day, in the days of headlines and newspapers, but it's a common term used in website design, and it basically means all the important information is before the actual visitor needs to scroll. So they see everything right there. And we've done this not only on desktop, but on mobile and tablets. So everything that's important that they need to know is going to be above the fold. Everything else just will endorse their decision to register. It will help them make that decision, will convince them. But this is all the important information, which is, the title of the webinar. This is the promise, remember? Of course, the host who's running this webinar, this populates automatically because we've put our avatar and we set up our name inside of our account. The call to action to register for free. We have our button right here, right? We have the date and time options here so they understand when it's going to be. So they understand when they should be attending or what time they should be attending. So this is really, really important. These pieces of information are really the essential pieces of information they need to know so they can register with no questions, okay? Now, if they keep scrolling, we need to be able to supply them with more information to convince them to register. This is why on this template and all our templates, we sandwich the content with the call to action. So you'll see there's a call to action here, and at the bottom of the page, there's a call to action as well. So by the time they finish reading, they're like, okay, I'm ready to register, and they don't have to scroll back up. It's right there. Okay, just want to let you know that you can play around here. You can scroll. You can change colors of the buttons if you want. Let's say if I want to make this color or whatever, I could change even the color of the font if I want for the button. It's all up to me. Okay. So just wanted to give you that those options that are available for you. So if I want to change the color of the overlay of the image here, of course I can go ahead and make it like this, and then change like the opacity if I want. Up to me. I can change this like this. Pretty cool. And I can just lighten it up. So you can really customize it to make it look like your brand. And this is what really is important. This is what you're going to do for your homework today. So you can use your branding colors, all that kind of stuff. Same thing with the fonts. If you use serifs or sans serifs, basically the difference is if there's little extensions or curls at the end of the letters. Sans serif has no curls, and serif does. So you could just look at a font that looks similar to the one that you use on your website, your branding, or your logo, or that kind of stuff. All right, so let's scroll beyond the fold, and here we have an area where it's basically saying, on the title we have, this is the promise. Let's break down what this promise is going to look like, how we're going to deliver this promise, what you're going to learn on this webinar. And this is really where you close the deal here. This is where you close the sale. Now, we talked about outlining your webinar, and you already have 5 parts, 5 tips, right? So you have 6 bullet points here. So 5 of these already are going to be your your 5 parts, 5 tips. So say, for example, you're going to talk about in this webinar, we could talk about like visualization. Step 1 is visualization. It's like learn how to visualize before you shoot to increase your free throw shooting. So learn visualization techniques can be one of them. So like learn visualization techniques. Okay, and then I can add a little blurb of what that really means. Sorry, I'll add a little here. What does that mean? I can add content here and say, I will show you how to visualize the ball going through the hoop to increase your free throw shooting. Okay. Now you notice that when I click on the whole section, it gives me these options. I can shut off the whole section if I want, but we're going to keep it on so we can have these bullet points. But if I wanted to, I could shut it off and it will not show when I preview or save the content. But we're going to show it. So I'm going to click on the section again here, the whole section, and we're going to turn it on. And I can increase the number of bullet points or decrease them and update them if I like, but I'm good with 6. And I'm going to go through each one like that, And if you want to add a little flair, you can always add emojis if you like using your keyboard, and it can just add a little flavor there and a little bit of personality. So you want to fill this in again with your 5 points, 5 tips. And then the last one, we want to talk about the offer. Okay, we want to talk about, hey, you're going to have an opportunity to learn how to implement this with far greater ease. And you could say it in a different way, like, learn how you can take what you learn in this workshop and implement it in your business, in your life, and take it to the next level. Up to you. You can you write that copy that works for your business. But the 6th bullet point is basically going to describe the next steps and how they can take it to the next level with your offer. Okay, and again, we're being transparent. We're showing them that, hey, there is more than just teaching. We're going to show you how you can take it to the next level, or keep going with this topic, or progress in this area. Okay, the next part is your host area. This is where you give a quick bio so they can know who you are and all that kind of stuff. We have a template here, but you can fill it in your own. Of course, you can add your image. I already have my image in my gallery. So if I go to my images, I could choose one of my images here. For example, I could put this image if I want, and that image is going to show up in here automatically. Boom. Okay, up to me. And of course, I can put my bio here and change my name about Omar Zenhom. Nice and simple. And again, if I want to, I can change colors, change fonts. I can make this blue if I want. Up to me. Okay. Lastly is that call to action again. Okay. If I want to change it to, the colors here, and maybe add my branding colors, I want to add my branding colors here. I'm just move it over here. Boom. This is what I want. And I can do all that kind of stuff. We also have a countdown timer and social share. Now, when people share this on social, it's going to send them to the registration page. If you have a private webinar or it's part of a membership package and you don't want people to share it, no worries. Just shut it off and you don't have to show it. But this is not that case. This is an automated webinar. You want to get as many people as possible. You want people to share. So turn that on so that way you can get some viral marketing. Same thing with the countdown timer. If you want to shut off the countdown timer, you could do the same thing. I like it because it kind of shows them the next time. But some people don't, and that's quite all right. You can shut it off. We can shut it off, no problem. And it's off. All right. So now that we've made some changes, we can preview. Let's see what it looks like. And here it is. So I got my title. I got all this kind of stuff. I may want to darken up the overlay color here to make this light color fonts, these light color fonts pop up a little bit. I might do that as soon as I get over the other side. And here are my tips. I'm going to add my tips here. I got my about section all filled out. And then I have, of course, my call to action area. And as you can see, the countdown timer was removed. All right, let's go back to the editor and make some changes. Okay, we said we want to darken this layout here a little bit. That's much better. And that looks good to go. Okay, now that I've done all the editing I want inside of Webinar Ninja, inside the registration page, I have all my calls to action here that are needed. I have all my bullet points all fleshed out here. You could change this headline if you want. If you want to say, like, here's what's in store in this webinar. This is what you'll gain. This is my promise to you. You could change this up. Now that I'm happy, I'm going to hit save. It's going to give me some options here. I can just hit save and I'm good to go, and it's going to save this registration page for my automated webinar. But I also can save it a copy to my media library so that I have my own template with my own name, so I can just go and load it anytime I want. So I can do that. I could just say b-ball, registration template. Okay, and I can also save this as default for all future webinars. So for example, if this is the template I love, it's got all my branding, I want to reuse it every time I create a webinar. Webinar Ninja will remember this and it will load this as your registration page for all webinars that you create. So you kind of set up your default template every time you create a webinar. But I don't want to do this right now. I have a saved template that I like, and I'm going to hit save. And that's it. We are done. The template's saved. We're good to go. And I can exit and we're all good. All right, let me pop out of Webinar Ninja and give you your homework. All right, your homework for today, create your registration page template. I recommend using one of the more detailed templates. We use the one that's called detailed, so you can stick with that if you like. And you can populate all the information that is for your business, your brand, and of course your workshop. We want to make sure that this is fleshed out. And as you notice, the template's not too long because we want to make sure that they don't spend too much time on this page. They register and they get going to the thank you page, which we'll talk about tomorrow. But today, your homework, you gotta make sure you get this done. It's quite simple, as you can see with the editor. We have the layout all set up for you. You just need to put in the information for you for your actual webinar, which is quite easy because you've already outlined it and you have it all set up. Okay, so that's the homework for today. I'm gonna see you tomorrow where we work on your thank you page, which is also a very important page, and I'll tell you why. But until then, make sure you finish the homework, and I'll see you there. You're doing it. Tomorrow is our midday point, day 15, halfway there, 50%. We're almost there. Your business is going to be rocking and rolling after this challenge. Can't wait to see all the results that are going to be coming in. So I'll see you tomorrow, day 15. See you then.